She walked onto the stage in a simple white dress, clutching a piece of paper that looked like it had been folded and unfolded 1,000 times. The judges were ready for another sad story, another hopeful voice. But when the music started, and the 17-year-old girl from a small town opened her mouth, the first note she sang didn't just fill the auditorium, it stopped time. Within 30 seconds, Simon Cowell's hand, which had been reaching for his water bottle, froze in midair. He wasn't looking at his notes. He wasn't looking at the audience. He was staring at Lily, and for the first time in his career, he looked genuinely terrified of what he was about to hear. The auditorium in Los Angeles was buzzing with the usual pre-show energy. Families cheered for their loved ones, jugglers warmed up in the hallways, and the production crew rushed to set up the next contestant. But backstage, in a quiet corner away from the chaos, a young woman named Lily Mercer was silently praying. At just 17 years old, she had the kind of face that looked like it had already lived 100 lives, soft eyes that held a storm behind them, and a calmness that felt unnerving for someone her age. She was from a tiny, forgotten town in eastern Kentucky, a place where the coal mines had closed and left nothing but memories and hardship behind. When her name was called, the massive stage door opened, revealing a sea of expectant faces. The crowd cheered politely, but there was nothing extraordinary about her appearance. She walked to the center of the stage, the microphone seeming too large for her small hand. The judges introduced themselves, making small talk, trying to gauge her story. Simon Cowell, ever the skeptic, leaned forward and asked the question everyone dreaded. "So, Lily, what do you do?" She hesitated, her voice barely a whisper. "I sing. I write songs. I brought one today. It's for my brother." Simon raised an eyebrow. "And where is your brother tonight? Is he here supporting you?" Lily looked down at her feet, then back at the judges. Her chin trembled, but she held it steady. "He's not here. He's serving overseas. He left 6 months ago." The audience let out a sympathetic ah. "Another sob story," Simon seemed to think, leaning back in his chair. He gestured for her to begin, his expression already bored, already preparing for the same emotional ballad he had heard 1,000 times before. The pianist played a soft, haunting opening chord. Lily closed her eyes, lifted the microphone, and began to sing. It wasn't just a melody, it was a desperate whisper, a confession. The lyrics spoke of letters that stopped coming, of phone calls that went straight to voicemail, of a silence that was louder than any explosion. Her voice was raw, unpolished, but it carried the weight of genuine grief. It wasn't a performance, it was a conversation with someone who wasn't there. About 30 seconds in, the camera zoomed in on Simon. He had stopped breathing. His hand, which was reaching for a glass of water, stopped midair. He didn't bring it to his lips. He just left it there, frozen. His eyes narrowed, not in judgment, but in absolute disbelief. He wasn't listening to a singer, he was watching a soul bleed out on stage. The song built. It wasn't just about missing someone. It was a plea, a desperate prayer for a sign. Lily's voice cracked, not from lack of talent, but from the sheer emotion of the moment. She sang about the last conversation she had with her brother, about how he promised he'd be home for her birthday, and how that birthday had come and gone 3 weeks ago with nothing but silence. Tears were streaming down the faces of the audience. The other judges, Sophia and Howie, were holding each other's hands. But Simon remained statue still, his face pale. And then came the twist. As Lily hit the final, powerful note of the song, a note that seemed to shake the very lights hanging from the ceiling, the large screen behind her, which had been displaying soft, ambient graphics, suddenly flickered. It cut to a live video feed. There was a crackle of static, and then a face appeared. A young man in military fatigues, with the same tired eyes as Lily, was looking into a camera from what looked like a bunker. The audience gasped. Lily, still holding the final note, felt the vibration in the room change. She turned around, and her legs gave way. It was her brother. The connection was grainy, delayed by thousands of miles, but it was him. He was alive. He looked exhausted, bruised, but he was smiling. He spoke, his voice cutting through the silence of the stunned auditorium. "I told you I'd never miss your big moment, Lily Bug. I'm here. I'm watching. I love you." The production team had coordinated with the military for weeks, keeping it a secret from Lily to ensure the emotional reveal was real. Simon Cowell stood up from his chair. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. He simply placed his hand over his heart, a gesture of pure, unadulterated respect. Lily sank to her knees on the stage, sobbing, reaching out to the screen as if she could touch her brother through the glass. The song was over, but the music of the moment, the sound of a family reunited through technology and sheer will, was the most beautiful thing anyone in that room had ever heard. Simon didn't hit his golden buzzer. He didn't need to. The moment itself was the golden buzzer. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in the power of family and the sacrifices of those who serve, hit that subscribe button right now. We share stories of hope, heartbreak, and incredible talent like Lily's every single week. Join our community so you never miss a moment that leaves the world speechless. Before you go, we want to hear from you. From which beautiful part of the country are you watching this video today? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one.